Am I the a-hole for ending a 3-year friendship? My friend Casey and I met freshman year of high school and became really good friends sophomore year. We remained good friends up until midway through our senior year. I've always had small issues with Casey. She's nice, polite, and overall a good person. However, she also has really bad anxiety, and she's struggled with her mental health far longer than I've known her. None of which deterred me from being friends with her, as I genuinely did and still do care about her and want her to be doing well. The main reason I started to question whether I wanted to be friends with her was when she started being weird about me talking to her boyfriend. I've known her boyfriend for longer than I've known her, and they actually met at one of my birthday parties. Prior to them getting together, we used to be pretty close. After they started dating though, I backed off, though still kept in touch with him. I had no classes with him, and ultimately senior year I didn't talk to him much. Though I still considered him a friend, and would check in on him via text, maybe once a month at most. For context, I have a boyfriend, James, who is in the army. This year our anniversary happened to fall during a time when he was home. It was unexpected, but a pleasant surprise as I've gotten used to him not being there for a lot of important occasions. That day we had plans to hang out with his family and a couple of friends to play board games, then celebrate privately in the evening. During one of our games I got a text from Casey. She sent me some photos of her and her boyfriend, then a couple photos of a drink she had and some other random stuff, then finally a photo of just her boyfriend. I quickly liked the last image sent and put my phone away thinking nothing of it. About 5 minutes later my phone has gone off a few too many times for me to ignore it, so I check and it's all messages from Casey. She started off by immediately asking why I only liked the photo of her boyfriend. I replied saying it was just the last thing she sent and that I was confused why she was suddenly being so abrasive. She replied, claiming I needed to learn to respect her boundaries. I still didn't entirely understand what she was upset about, so I told her to call me when she had time, or we could try to solve it over text. She said she was driving and that she would just text me when she gets home. At this point James noticed me get a little uneasy, so I excused myself to go sit in a back room for a minute to collect myself. This is when Casey decided to start texting me again. She accused me of wanting to steal her boyfriend from her, cussed me out, and generally just said some really terrible things about me. I'll admit I spent the rest of the day crying. Casey up until this point had been my best friend. We did everything together. She drove me to school in the morning, we ate lunch together every day, and sat next to each other in every class we had. Her parents considered me family, and I had thought she did too. I ended up telling Casey that I was sorry. I had nothing to apologize for, but I didn't want to lose her. James found me and comforted me until the end of the day. I felt terrible. Casey and I agreed to talk in person the following Monday at school. We did, and overall I had thought it went well. She apologized and acknowledged she was out of line. I really felt like we had gotten to the root of the issue, and that this was just a small bump in our relationship. Things didn't exactly go back to normal, but Casey and I were talking again and on friendly terms. Though the following weekend I'm woken up at 8 a.m. by messages from Casey. She had taken screenshots of 2 of her Instagram stories, including the views and likes. The first one was of a scenery picture she posted. I had seen it, but not liked it, and the second one was of her boyfriend and her in matching pajamas. I had liked that one. The only other thing she had sent was a question mark. I replied asking her what that was about. She asked why I only liked the photo of her boyfriend. I replied honestly again, that I just don't like photos of scenery people post, and there wasn't much else to it. I'll admit I was frustrated with her at this point. I replied a bit angrier than I had meant to, not anything rude, but definitely more accusatory than I try to be. I essentially told her that this wasn't something I wanted to put up with and that if she was going to continue to pull this kind of thing I wasn't sure I wanted to continue being friends. She replied saying that this is simply how she is with everyone she's close to and that I shouldn't be offended by it. I hadn't mentioned it earlier, but Casey has a very unhealthy relationship with her boyfriend. She's very insecure and tends to take that out on him by accusing him of cheating and monitoring his every move. It's weird and has always kind of creeped me out, but I figured what she does in her private life is up to her, and if he's willing to put up with it, then who am I to judge? She said I knew she was like this, and that when I became friends with her I essentially signed myself up for this. This was the final straw for me though, and I haven't talked to her since. She has texted me a couple of times, nothing big, just small favors you'd ask of anyone, even acquaintances. I had considered her a sister, and I'm still pretty torn up about ending our friendship. I don't know if what I did was right. She struggled with her mental health a lot, and around this time had been dealing with quite a bit in her personal life. I also can't help but miss her. She was genuinely such a big part of my life and helped me through some rough times. So I'm wondering if dropping her was actually the right choice. Am I the a-hole? Make sure to comment what you think, leave a like and follow.